And we are back. This is part 15 of Donald Trump's Agenda 47. This is a series where I provide you with videos that Donald Trump has provided us, where he explains in detail the policies that he intends to implement should he become president of the United States. All of this information can be found over on his website, donaldjtrump.com. He has provided these policies in written format as well as video format. Sorry, y'all, I haven't had coffee. I got it right here. But yeah, and a lot of people don't know about this because a lot of people really don't actively go out seeking what Donald Trump has to say. Right? It's the media that bombards us with what Donald Trump has to say. And yet the media is not bombarding us with the policies that he intends to implement. You see, Donald Trump goes around the country campaigning for president, but he doesn't talk about these policies. It is my opinion that he doesn't talk about these policies because he knows these policies are not welcomed by the masses. This policy is titled, Joe Biden has been a disaster for the economy.
Joe Biden has been a disaster for the economy. Between his massive tax hikes, his anti-energy crusade, and his trillions of dollars in wasteful spending, Biden caused the highest inflation in almost half a century. As a result, interest rates soared to crushing levels, and now we are seeing bank failures that nobody believed even possible just 2 years ago. Joe Biden is leading us toward a Great Depression. I've been saying it for a long time. There should be no bailouts, but we need to get this economy straightened out as fast as possible. We're headed down a very dangerous path. When I'm back in the White House, I will immediately unleash energy production, slash regulations like I did just 3 years ago, and repeal Biden's tax hikes to get inflation down as fast as possible, and it will go quickly, so that interest rates can get back under control. I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. In fact, I did it twice when you think about it, and now we will have to do it again. Thank you very much.
I said I was going to keep my commentary at a minimum because I want you all to do your own research. I want you guys to educate yourself, but specifically research the regulations that Donald Trump rolled back and what happened as a result. Research what policies were implemented that have caused an inflation hike. Research those things. Research who really has added more money to the debt. Research those things. And you will find that all this Republican does is lie. Please comment, repost, and share. If you are not following me, please hit that follow button. There's more to come. Welcome back to part 16 of Donald Trump's Agenda 47. This is a series where I provide you with videos that Donald Trump has provided us that explain in detail the policies that he intends to implement should he become the 47th president of the United States. This policy is titled, We Must Protect Medicare and Social Security.
Under no circumstances should Republicans vote to cut a single penny from Medicare or Social Security to help pay for Joe Biden's reckless spending spree, which is more reckless than anybody's ever done or had in the history of our country. Biden has blown out the federal budget, wasted trillions on left-wing lunacy and the ridiculous Green New Deal, which is a tremendous problem and embarrassment to us, and thrown open our Treasury and our borders to migrants from all over the world. In fact, migrants that are coming from prisons and migrants that are coming from mental institutions are being dropped into the United States, and we do nothing about it. I had the safest border in the history of our country just 2 years ago, and now we have probably the worst border in the history of the world. I don't think any country has ever had anything like we have right now. Well, we absolutely need to stop Biden's out-of-control spending. The pain should be borne by Washington bureaucrats, not by hardworking American families and American seniors. The seniors are being absolutely destroyed in the last 2 years. Cut the hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars going to corrupt foreign countries. Cut the mass releases of illegal aliens that are depleting our social safety net and destroying our country. Cut the left-wing gender programs from our military. Cut the billions being spent on climate extremism. Cut waste, fraud, and abuse everywhere that we can find it, and there's plenty of it. But do not cut the benefits our seniors worked for and paid for their entire lives. Save Social Security. Don't destroy it. The Democrats are looking to destroy Social Security. We're not going to let them do it. Thank you very much.
Okay, real talk. I said I was going to keep my commentary to a minimum throughout this entire series, but with this one I can't. Republicans have said over and over and over that they will cut Social Security and Medicare. They call it an entitlement. That's what they call it. They actually are trying to present it as it is a free benefit that they are giving to us. In actuality, take a look at your last pay stub. You are paying into that. Every time you get paid, the government takes a percentage of that. You are paying into that. It's not an entitlement. It is your right at this point. And it's not Democrats who are trying to cut it, right? He's advocating for Republicans not to vote to get rid of Medicare and Social Security. And then he goes on to say it's Democrats that are trying to do it. That is a lie. That is a lie. Notice he mentioned cutting any funding that goes towards climate change. That's what they're doing. Please do your research. It is Republicans that have repeatedly and publicly talked about cutting Medicare and Social Security. And it's not to pay for the things that Joe Biden has done. It's to pay for what Donald Trump did during his presidency. You see, the tax cuts that Donald Trump brags about, it was tax cuts for the corporations, the millionaires, and billionaires. Their tax cuts were permanent. He provided tax cuts to citizens, minimal. At most, you got $20, $50. You probably didn't even notice it because then it turned around and was snatched back when they took taxes out of your check. And those tax cuts, for us, were temporary. That time period has already ended. You are no longer receiving those tax cuts. Corporations, millionaires, and billionaires, they will continue to receive those humongous tax cuts that Donald Trump provided. After they passed that tax cut scam bill, he went down to Mar-a-Lago to a dinner with all of them and said, I just made all of you guys so much more richer. Do your research. Educate yourselves, get down in the comments, let me know your thoughts, repost and share. If you are not following me, please follow me, hit that follow button. There's more to come. Welcome back to part 17 of Donald Trump's Agenda 47. I told y'all, he's got several policies that he intends to implement that he doesn't talk about. But they are all up over on his website, DonaldJTrump.com. He doesn't talk about these policies that he intends to implement publicly. You won't hear him talking about it while he's out on the campaign trail because he knows these policies are not popular. But he's provided them, and he's provided them in written format as well as video format. In my opinion, this is one of the most important series here on TikTok. This policy is titled, President Donald J. Trump Calls for Probe into Intelligence Community's Role in Online Censorship.
The now famous Twitter files have proven beyond all doubt that the corrupt officials at the FBI have been coordinating a massive censorship, surveillance, and propaganda campaign against the American people and, frankly, against me. In the most recent and notorious example, the FBI worked to stop the truth from being told about the Biden family's criminality. They worked so hard to stop it from coming out, and the corruption prior to the 2020 election. They didn't want any bad information to come out about the Biden family. The fix was in, the election was rigged, but the censorship of the laptop from hell is only the beginning of the story about the weaponization of government against free speech. We must have free speech in our country. We must have a fair and free press. As recent reporting shows, the FBI and other rogue agencies have been systematically colluding with former national security officials placed in high positions at Twitter and very likely other companies to advance their censorship regime, which is really, in this case, to steal an election. This anti-American effort, and a very illegal effort at that, has been working to silence dissenting opinions on COVID and crucial issues on public health and on the election and elections in the future. They suppressed doctors and health experts who dared to question approved public health narratives. They censored voices who criticized school closures, lockdowns, and mandates, and they even banned people simply for stating proven scientific facts. And anything bad about China, they didn't want out. But anything bad about Biden and the Biden crime family, and that's what it was, just look at the laptop from hell. They didn't want that coming out under any circumstances. What they wanted coming out was anything bad about your favorite president, me. Anything bad about Trump, put it out, even if it's not true. But this all had nothing to do with science. This had nothing to do with saving lives. It had everything to do with politics or a sick ideology. This was about government working with powerful corporations to seize power over you, the American people. And we can't let that continue. The Twitter files prove that we urgently need my plan to dismantle the illegal censorship regime, a regime like nobody's ever seen in the history of our country, or most other countries for that matter, to prosecute the perpetrators for their crimes, and to restore free speech for all Americans. So important. We need a free press. We need free speech. We need fair elections. And we need borders. The new Congress should immediately hold hearings to investigate the role of the FBI and other federal agencies in censoring lawful speech. Congressional leaders should promptly issue subpoenas in furtherance of this goal. The revelations also highlight why my proposal to end the revolving door between the deep state, and there is a deep state indeed. I wasn't a believer, but everybody's a believer right now. And the tech tyrants is so important. There must be a 7-year cooling off period before any employee of these powerful agencies is allowed to take a job at a major platform. When I'm president, we will take back our freedoms. We will take back our country.
More lies. Make sure you do your research, educate yourselves, get down in the comments, comment, repost, and share. And if you are not following me, please hit that follow button. There's more to come. Welcome back to part 18 of Donald Trump's Agenda 47. This is a series where I provide you with the videos that Donald Trump has provided us that explains in full detail the policies that he intends to implement should he become the 47th President of the United States. These policies are not policies that Donald Trump talks about publicly while he's out on the campaign trail. It is, in my opinion, that he doesn't talk about these policies because he knows that they are unpopular with the masses. This policy is titled Total Ban on Taxpayer Dollars Used to Free Illegal Aliens and Criminal Penalties for Administrative Noncompliance.
Far more illegal immigrants have entered the United States in the last 2 years than at any time in American history, and by a massive margin. We've never seen anything like it. Our country is under invasion. Days ago, 16,000 illegal aliens were encountered crossing the border in a single 48-hour period. A colossal migrant caravan recently poured across the Rio Grande and into the streets of El Paso, Texas, and the people and the police didn't know what to do about it. It is truly a massive invasion. Any form of amnesty now would be a catastrophe. It rewards Joe Biden's lawlessness, and it rewards the criminal cartels, and it rewards everyone who has broken the laws of our nation, because they've never done anything to our country like they're doing right now. Our country is being poisoned. Remember, our border is not open because of insufficient resources or legal authorities. Our border is open because Joe Biden has ordered it to be open, and because Biden has broken the law and torn it into shreds. He has shredded our system, and he's destroying our country. Biden inherited a flawless deportation system that was working like never before. In our history, we never did so well on the border as we were doing just a short time ago under the Trump administration. Giving Biden more resources will simply translate to even more releases, because that's really what they have in mind. This has nothing to do with asylum. Everyone knows this is a pretext and this is a fraud. Anyone who pretends otherwise plays into the hands of Biden and the criminal cartels. This is about Biden's lawless and criminal misconduct. The most important reform needed right now is a total ban on Biden using taxpayer dollars to free illegal aliens and criminal penalties for administrative noncompliance, which happens every single minute of every single day.
He recorded that video and uploaded it to his website back in December of 2022. Does something need to be done with the border? Absolutely. Is it what he say it is? No. More lies. And today, March 7th, 2024, the Republicans have stood in the way of a bipartisan bill to do something about the border. Why did they stand in the way? Because they want to use the border as a campaign tool for Donald Trump. So that should tell you they don't care about the border. It's just a tool that they use to fearmonger their supporters, their voters, into voting for them. Do your own research. Educate yourselves. Get down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Repost and share. If you aren't following me, please hit that follow button. We still got more to come.